Hey everyone, this is Corey with Stafford's EDC, and today we're taking a look at a knife from Rosecraft Blades. This is the Sequatchie River Jack, I believe is how you say it. This is a two-bladed muskrat pattern. This has two muskrat-style clip points coming from opposite ends of the knife. I'll give you a little overview here. These handles are either black G10 or black micarta. I cannot remember what they say it is. It looks like G10. It might be a polished micarta. So just keep that in mind. You have the spade shield on here that has been pretty popular on their black handled models. These are in D2, as all Rosecrafts are. And this is coming in at $54 on the Rosecraft website. So let's open up these blades and get a closer look. You can see this knife open, obviously, is two-sided, not something you're going to be using with both blades out. Not that you would ever use a knife like that, but if you can't tell here, you might be able to tell at the half stop that these are two identical blades. Besides, obviously, the nail nick being on opposite sides, these are the exact same. You can see the marking on this side for the D2, and Rosecraft written on this side. And the opposite being marked on the same side. And so each blade has the stamp Rosecraft and D2 on it. So that is mirrored, you can see. The fit and finish on these is always really good. The springs aren't crazy flush at the half position here. I can feel a gap. It's not major, but there's certainly a little bit of space there. Nothing too crazy for a $50 knife. I'd be shocked if I paid $50 for a case that had a better fit and finish, and case knives tend to be higher than that at this point, so keep that in mind. You can see there's basically no gaps or anything going down the back, which is just about what you can ask for on a slip joint. There's absolutely zero blade play on that blade or this one, so they are pretty rock solid. So they open up nicely, no problem, and I'll let you see the walk and talk here. We'll do one at a time. They snap shut really nicely. They jump really late, and that's one of the things that I don't like about Rosecraft's knives. As I've handled more and more custom slip joints recently, one of my most recent being a Trapper from Daniel Keown. This is really, really nice custom, which is obviously a different realm than Rosecraft is. But one of the things I just don't like about their knives is, I don't know if it's the design of the tangs, which is strongly what I'm believing it to be, but they just don't snap shut or to the half stop the way that I would like. And yeah, I don't know exactly what it is. I think it has something to do with the tang design, because you can see this kind of wants to stop right there. It's pretty smooth, and they hit that point right before it wants to break. And I think they just have these edges rounded too much. I don't know if you can tell how rounded that is on the inside, but you should have a pretty crisp, you can have the edge broken, but it shouldn't be so radiused. And I think that's attributing to their snap not being as nice. Now that helps the pull when you're coming to this position not be as tough. You can overcome that transition much easier, but I would much rather have snappier action than a lighter pull at any position. I'd prefer a strong pull. Even that being said, though, that's another problem I have with this knife, is the location of the nail nicks. Now, I would have loved the nail nick to be placed down here, where you do have to get your fingernail in. I'll bring in this Keown as an example. You can see where the nail nick is. It's butted up right against the frame, but it's down by the swedge, and that gives you leverage to pull it out. And that is a great thing on a slip joint. You're closer to the pivot here. You know, there's not a pivot screw, but there's a pin blended in with this bolster. And you're so close to it. And this is something that bothers me with like Lanny's clips and some other designs as well. But that you're so close to the pivot, it makes the pull incredibly tough. And you don't get that real satisfying snap from this that you would from something otherwise with a really strong pull. You just don't get that. So you're really digging in there just for a pretty normal pull and snap and nothing crazy to do the half stop. So That's a little bit disappointing in my opinion. I think it would look good if the nicks were down here. You'd have a nice flat area. It just wouldn't be as obtrusive. Maybe this is easier because it's easy to mill it on the flat. Then you don't have to mill it onto an already ground blade. That's probably why they do it this way. It's easier to do in terms of mass production. You don't have to have any kind of super special jigs or anything of the sort. You can just run it through. Even when the blade is not fully cut out, you can cut that nail nick in, and then the cleanup can be done later. But nevertheless, that's my assumption as to why they do that, but it is something that I hate. Now, these blades are both pretty well centered. This one is slightly favoring the side I'm tapping there, which is the shield side, and so is this one, to be fair. It's also favoring the pile side, which is the opposite of the shield side. So they both kind of favor outward a little bit on the respective sides that the tips are on. But nothing too crazy. They're not rubbing or anything like that. So no real problems there. I mean, ultimately, it's a Rosecraft. It's built pretty well. For the price, these are good. It just isn't a model I love. I don't love the double muskrat. It's just not for me. And I have no nail on my right thumb right now, so hard for me to get the blades out. So if there's someone who wants to pinch a knife open, stay away from this model. You will not be able to do it. But yeah, it's just the design's not my thing. The handle itself, even this little serpentine kind of pattern, is comfortable. It's nice to use. I never love the way that two blades feel in hand, especially when they're opposite ended like this, because I don't want my finger resting on the spine. You know, it kind of makes a wider handle, but I don't know. I'd rather just it not be there. I'd rather have a single blade where I can pinch or I can get to the nail like easier, especially if it was located down here, because it would be much easier. But if you really like this, you know, these you can pick up from Rosecraft for $54. They might be available elsewhere, but I don't know that. I do know you can buy direct from their website though, so these are available there if you're interested. And that's where I'm going to leave this one off. Overall, you know, not really my jam, but I know somebody will really like this one out there. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video and have a great rest of your day. Take care.